Hello, welcome to Sunfire Designs. Today I'm going to be making a tray using this beautiful poinsettia mold from Julie over at Pouring Your Heart Out. I will put a link in the description, so if you're interested in finding it, you'll know where to go. But I am going to be making a mold containing flowers. Now, I found a couple things. I went shopping yesterday, which always gets me in trouble, but I found a couple things that gave me some ideas of what I want to do. The first thing is I came across, and this was at Michael's, the craft store. I came across this chain that is on clearance. And so I started thinking about, wouldn't it be cool to put the chain along the outside edge of the mold, and I thought that would look really cool. And it was only $3. It was on clearance for $3. So I'm like, you can't beat that. So I got a roll of it, and I've actually already pre-cut my chain. I went along and measured it. I put it along on the inside so I would have the correct amount, and then I used wire cutters to cut a piece. So I have that. The second thing I have is, this is also from Michael's. This was over in like the scrapbooking section, and these are fabric flowers. And I just thought they were so beautiful, and I don't know how they're gonna work being put in resin. They might end up being hideous, but I thought it'd be really pretty to put them in the middle of this mold. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have already mixed up my resin. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. It is Janchun resin, and I will put a link to that in the description. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit of resin into a cup, probably more than what I need, and I'm gonna put the chain in there to try to eliminate some of the bubbles, because it has these little links, and the links are gonna gather bubbles. It's just a fact of life. So I'm gonna put this in here and see if I can get rid of some of the bubbles before I actually put it into the mold. The second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing for these flowers, because if you go ahead and put these in there, now they're not gonna be as bad as real flowers. Real flowers will bubble up like nothing else. But I'd like to try and see. I'm actually going to use a smaller cup to see if it's going to work before I throw them all in there. But I'm going to try and see what it does to the flowers. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Okay. And I'm going to start off with, let me find my tweezers. I'm just going to start off with one. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna get my little stick. I'm gonna dunk it in there, try to get rid of a bunch of the bubbles and see what happens. So if I do that, and looks like the bubbles mostly are gone. I'll probably leave it in just another minute longer, but I can take my tweezers and I can pull it out. And then when I put it in here, there still will probably be some bubbles, but it won't be as bad. All right, so I think that's what I want to do. Now, I also wanted to put, just a bare hint of shimmer or glitter, nothing that's distracting, but just a small amount. By the way, this is a lint roller. It works great for removing little things that fly into your mold, especially if you're like me and you have pets and there's always hair and everything everywhere. So it's not super sticky, so it doesn't like leave a residue behind on the mold. So I really like using that. All right, so I'm gonna start off, I'm going to move this out of the way. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully it's still on camera. It looks like it is. All right, so I am going to start off, and I'm going to use some of this Marabou alcohol ink, the rainbow. To me, it doesn't look rainbowish. It looks slightly like blue sparkles. But either way, it's really, really pretty, and it's very, very subtle. It's an alcohol ink, so it's not going to drown everything out. The only thing I hate about these bottles is the little the little ball that's in there gets stuck in the tip when you're trying to put the alcohol ink in. So I usually put it in at a slight angle. So I'm going to start off 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to start off with 6 drops. I'm also getting it all over my mat. All right, I'm going to start off with 6 drops, and I'm going to stir it up and see what it looks like and see if I need to add more. This is quite a bit of resin, so I don't know, it might actually need some more than this. And I'm just stirring very gently. When I made my resin up, I used a little hand mixer. It is so helpful. Okay, that has, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has just the slightest hint of sparkle. I think I do want a little bit more though. But anyway, as I was saying, I use this really cool little mixer. It has 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll add 5 more. The mixer has a button that you just flip on and then it stays on. So you don't have to sit there and hold the button down while you're mixing. And I find that super helpful because I have some arthritis in my hands, lucky me, and I just find it easier to do that. All right, here we go. It's very subtle, but there's a little bit more in there. So, all right, I'm gonna go for it. I'm not gonna fill this up all the way to start because I don't want the flowers to float. So I might not even use all of this now. I might come back. And because I just mixed this up, there are gonna be a few bubbles, but it's kind of unavoidable. All right, I'm gonna do just enough to kind of cover the bottom. And I still have a little bit left and I can add that once I'm done like getting the chain in and seeing how the flowers lay down in there. So, and of course, because I am doing it backwards, I'm not sure, hopefully I can get the flower arrangement to look nice. We'll find out. All right, so next I'm gonna take this little silicone tool and I'm just gonna go around the outside gently, just to catch any bubbles that may have gathered on the edge of the mold, because that's where they like to hang out. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Didn't see any major ones, but you know, they can always pop up at some point. You never know. All right, get off there. All right, one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it a spritz of alcohol because that will help get more of the bubbles than using the torch. And I just need to make sure I'm not gonna use the torch for a little bit while that settles down. All right, first thing I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna start with the chain. I don't really see many bubbles in here. So I'm going to find, I don't know where the end is. Let's see. I try to find the end in here somewhere. Here we go. Here is the end. Now, when I put this in here, it's not going to be anywhere where it needs to be, but that's okay. I'm just going to start off by putting it in, and then I'm going to move it around to go where it needs to go. Okay. I'm making a mess, but you know what? It's all good. All right. Wipe some of this up. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a mess. I make a lot of mess. So, all right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little tool to kind of move it around the edge so that it's laying the way it should. And what I might do is, because you can see what I'm doing, you don't need to sit here and watch the whole thing, is I might pause it, go ahead and finish it, and then come back. I can put it on time lapse too, I don't know. I don't know how well that'll work, but I'm willing to try. So, all right, I will be back in a minute once I've done putting the chain around. All right, I'm back. Hopefully this will be okay. There is like 3 little links that overlap right here, but hopefully that won't be an issue, and it'll look all right. So, all right, I'm going to torch it. All right, I'm gonna need to pick up the pace here. My resin's getting a little thick, so not super thick, but just I don't want it to cause issues with bubbles or anything. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay my flowers in here, and they're gonna be upside down because I wanna make sure that it's facing the way that I want it to be. So I'm gonna put the smaller flowers in the front, and the larger, like the leaves and stuff, are gonna go in the back. And I expect to have some bubbles in there. Hopefully there won't be too many. I'm actually gonna use these 2 cups, and I'm gonna soak them. I'm gonna alternate, soak them for a second, and then, you know, while one is soaking, then I can pull the other one out and just kind of go back and forth. I don't think I need this. Just set that to the side. All right, come on, little guy. And you know, this is not something that I normally do, working with flowers, so hopefully I don't make a mess of it. Because I have high hopes for this tray here. Oh, I didn't put this one upside down. See what I mean? Not used to my doing this way, but hopefully I can figure it out. All right, this one looks like a pansy. I like pansies, they're pretty. Okay. And I just have very little resin in here, so hopefully it will not cause me issues. I think I need to add just a tad more resin in here. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm just adding a little bit more resin to these cups to make it a little easier, because every time I pull a flower out, I'm pulling resin with it. So, all right, let's do this one, this pretty purple one. Come on, guy. When you put them in this little cup, they kind of suction to the bottom almost. And these are not the best tweezers. I think I might grab a different pair here. Got to make sure all the petals are going the correct direction. Okay. Put that there. Come on, resin. So I am going to actually put you on time lapse again, because it's going to take me a minute to figure out how to organize these flowers. So I will put you on time lapse so you don't have to sit here and watch me, and I will be back. All right, well, I've put them all in there as best as I can. I don't know if I'm happy with the placement or not. When it came in the package, it was so cute, the way it was arranged. And of course, you know, this moves around and floats, and so it's not gonna look anything like the cute package that I got it in, but you know, hopefully it'll look okay. We will find out. I am definitely not a florist. not my forte. All right, so I'm just using some of the extra resin. You can see it's gotten really thick because it's taken me a while to get everything all organized and stuff, and it floats and it shifts. So I do have some holes in there that I'm not super pleased with. And I don't think I can move things around much anymore because everything is so thick. So I'm just gonna have to be happy with the way it is. All right, I'm gonna do a light torch and then I'm going to leave it alone. The flowers are going to float, but that is okay because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a background on it. So hopefully, fingers crossed that this comes out to be amazing. I don't know, I'm not gonna hold my breath, but I would love to be surprised and have it come out awesome. So, all right, I'm gonna do my little torch, not super long because I don't wanna catch the flowers on fire. All right, I will see you when it's time to put the background on. Welcome back. It's been about an hour and a half. I put this on my heating mat to try to help it along, so we're pretty good. You can touch it and it's not tacky or anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the background. I do wish I kind of had everything moved up a little bit because I feel like everything's kind of centered toward the bottom, but you know, we're not gonna know what it looks like until we unmold it, so here goes nothing. All right, so for the background, I wanna do like a navy blue. Maybe with now this has this little glitter in here and I want that to show. But I also might put just a little tiny bit of mica powder in here just to add a little bit of extra dimension to it. Now I do have this pigment paste that I made and it's like a navy blue. However, it is not as opaque as what I'm wanting for this particular piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix up something new and go from there. So I'm gonna use this. This is from Just Resin. It is Capri Blue. And I had to order that from the Just Resin site, but I will put a link in the description. I'm also going to use Let's Resin pigment paste. It's the opaque, and I'll put a link for that also. And then finally, I'm gonna add just a little bit of Lake Blue, and I will also add the link. This came in a giant set of like 25 different mica powders. They've lasted me forever, and I really like most of them. So I will add that also. All right, so I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna mix up my blue. It's a nice, really bright, pretty blue. And I'm gonna mix it up. And I'm gonna leave a lot on here because I want it to be super opaque. So I'm gonna wipe off one side and then leave the other side kind of coated. And we'll start there and see, we might need to add more. I don't know, because I do want it to be pretty opaque. I don't want you to be able to see through it at all. So we'll get this mixed up. And let me get a different stick so we can actually see. All right, so that's pretty opaque. I think once I add the black, that will help. I'm gonna add the black like a half drop at a time, and I can always come back and add more blue if I need to. But the black is really strong, and this is only 3 ounces, so I don't wanna have it be all black, you know? So I'm gonna try to put like a half a drop on here. Well, it's a drop, but it's a teeny drop. All right, we'll try that. I don't think that's gonna be enough. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that it's gonna make any difference at all. Does not appear that it made any difference at all. All right, let's go ahead and put a drop on there. All right, so that's still just a small drop. Hopefully that will darken it some. I need to scrape my stick off because it's got a lot of stuff still on it. And I want to make sure it gets incorporated completely. So that made it a little darker, but not dark enough. I would like it to be darker, so I'm gonna add another drop. Okay, here we go. And that's the way to do it. Just go drop by drop by drop, because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna add 5 drops and then have it turn up like midnight black and you can't even see your blue. So that's a little darker. I want it pretty dark though, so I'm gonna add another, just like a full-size drop this time. We're just gonna keep going until we get it to the color that we want. So that's a dark blue, but it's not midnight, so. Another drop. This is a process. It is a process. It takes a little bit of time to get the correct color that you want. It's getting there. I still want it darker though. So, sorry about that. It's gonna take me a minute to get there. I want it to be a really dark, it's a very pretty color, but it's not dark enough. All right. All right, it's getting there. I don't want it to be, I need it to be darker than these flowers here, because I don't want it to be, you know, to drown them out. So I still need to go darker, but I am gonna go ahead and add a little bit of my mica powder, just because then it's gonna give me a better idea of what color it is. I'm just gonna add a half of one of these little spoons I have here. And see, I just want just a hint of shimmer to it, not anything like super wild. I think I need a little more. You can kind of see it, but not enough. Let me add another half. Okay. There we go. It's not like full mica powder strong. It's just got a little, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's just got a little hint of a shimmer. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm going to add another drop of black. One of these days we're going to get there to the right color. That's getting closer. I'm thinking it's going to take maybe 2 more drops, but I'm going to do it one at a time still, just in case I'm wrong. That blue was pretty strong, so I think that's why it's taking so much of the black. All right, let's see if this does it. Still not dark enough for what I want. It's going to take me forever at this rate. I don't even remember how many drops I've used. I'll have to go back and look at the video, should I want to do this again. Okay. I have a stronger pigment paste I could have used, but it tends to just be super overpowering and take over everything. And I didn't want to ruin my entire thing of resin. I mean, it is darker than that, but maybe one more drop. And then I might need to add a little bit more of the mica powder, just to make sure you can see my little shimmer. That's better. That's what I want. Yeah, I'm gonna add just another half of a scoop of the powder. Hopefully that doesn't turn my resin too blue. I think it'll be okay. I think it's just gonna add a little shimmer. It's not gonna really change the color. There we go, perfect. That's exactly what I want. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up, and then I will put it back on the heating mat, and we will come back and have a reveal. I'm super excited for that. Let's see if that's enough. I have a little bit more left, but whoops. There we go. I think that's going to be about perfect. Well, there's a little leaf right there. May have to file that one off. Didn't realize it was sticking up so much. That's okay. Easy fix. Actually, I think I've got enough room to just go ahead and add the rest of this. There's not that much left. All right, so let's do a little torch, and then I'm gonna run my silicone tool just around the edges on the inside to make sure that I didn't add any bubbles in here. Because you know me and my bubbles. I don't like them. Okay, I see a couple pieces of mica powder that just kind of didn't get mixed in all the way. I hate when that happens. There's another high piece over here. So it depends on what it turns out like when I unmold it, whether I'm going to have to file that off or what I'm going to do. So, all right, I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and torch it one more time, and then I will be back in maybe 2 hours or so, but it'll be like a flash for you. So see you in a few. All right, welcome back. We're all cured. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I really hope this turned out. I really, really, really do. All right. You can see I got a little couple pieces sticking up. It's not bad at all. I'm just gonna have to file that one probably. All right. I'm gonna being fussy about all the little pieces I need to file or just take off. All right, here we go. I love it. I think I love it. Oh my gosh. I really do. I think I love it. It's beautiful. It came out better than I hoped. Maybe I wouldn't pick quite as dark of a background next time, or darker. I would either go darker or not quite as dark, but I love it. Oh my God. Yay, it worked. Yay. Looks really good. The flowers do blend in just a little bit, but you can still see them. So, and I love the way the chain looks in there. I just think this is something really different. So, well, thank you for coming along this journey with me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.